think there's a big misconception that all Kiwis are super, super nice and welcoming all the time. And some Kiwis also have the perception that racism doesn't exist here, both of which are not true. Kiwis are, on the whole, pretty nice people, but not all of them. I've definitely heard the N-word used frequently, not to my face, but in general. And I've seen the Confederate flag on 3 separate occasions here in New Zealand. The racist rhetoric that exists in the States and in New Zealand, as we both know, some recent events have brought that up again. You're going to get it everywhere you go. So on top of seeing the Confederate flag, my partner has also had coworkers who are blatantly racist to his face. And I've had my fair share of microaggressions over the past 8 years that we've lived here. While no place is perfect, I did not expect New Zealand to be perfect, as neither should you. That being said, in terms of my safety, I do feel very, very safe here in New Zealand. And granted, the things that I just said are completely my personal experience. And I happen to have lived in 2 of the most close-minded cities in New Zealand because they're in the South Island.
I wish she would have broke down what happened with her husband or her woman maybe. What did they say? Break that down for us. Let us know. Is the work environment toxic? What's going on with that?
And the South Island has no comparison to the North Island in general or even just Auckland. So I would probably have a completely different story if I was living in Auckland. But I don't. I live in Dunedin. Dunedin is a little bit more diverse, a little bit more open-minded, more understanding than Christchurch was. But I think it just comes down to education and exposure, and a lot of people haven't been exposed to Black people before. Hence, and I don't even notice when people are staring at us mostly anymore.
Damn, I can imagine the stares, bro, especially if you a woman like this and you got your hair like this and this color, you definitely gonna get looks. And there's no telling what her man or woman may look like. What they doing with Confederate flags though? What the hell is going on with that?
I think my husband gets it worse than I do, honestly, because people will not be racist to your face. I think Kiwis are a bit too nice for that, but they definitely do it to him, not knowing that his wife is Black. And so he's put in a really awkward situation.
So she has a white man
where he doesn't.
Yeah, they're probably comfortable around them saying things about your race and everything. I can imagine that. Funny thing about it, bro, everybody is talking behind our back, bro. Even our family is talking behind our back.
Okay, so I just wanted to come here and just like rant a little bit about like a situation that happened yesterday at work. So I'm working, minding my own business, and this man was like randomly, never spoken to him in my life, never seen this man in my life. He was just sitting over there. He goes, so where are you from? And I was like, oh, Sydney, Australia. And I kept it pushing. I only say Sydney, Australia because, like, we both know I'm not from here. We both know I'm Black as hell. There is no denying that I'm African. So if you want to ask a stupid question, I'm going to give you a stupid answer. But hold on, don't come for me yet. So why I do this is because I've had multiple situations where people ask me, like, especially the older white generation, they ask me, hey, so where are you from? And I'm like, Sydney, Australia. And they're like, no, where are you really from? Like, I don't know what that means, Karen. Can you explain it a little bit further for me? And I feel like that's just such a, like, an ignorant question to ask, like, and it's quite insensitive, I don't know, for me, because it's like, I'm different. Like, why are you asking where am I really from? What if I identify as New Zealand? Like, what if I was born here, my parents were born here? Why are you asking me such a question? Like, I never ask you, so where are you really from? Like, imagine. And I've gotten questions like, not questions, statements like, wow, your English is so good. When did you come to this country? Blah, blah, blah. And those are so insensitive. Like, y'all need to stop. Like, no. And I only bring this up because it happens so many times down here in South Dunedin, and it's getting ridiculous. Like, y'all need to educate your parents, your grandparents, yourselves. Like, you shouldn't ask people those kind of questions, especially if it's out of the blue, because it's also the way that you say it. Like, if it's just out of the blue for no reason, why are you asking me such a question? Like, you don't even know my name, and the first thing you want to do is talk about my country. Like, please relax. And then they proceed, oh, this isn't my favorite one. They proceed trying to relate to you, like, oh, I've been in Kenya. Good for you, Mike. I've never been to Kenya. I have, but like, they don't know that, because you never talked to me. But anyways, like, oh, I went to Uganda once and the safari was so amazing. Okay, and one time this wife had, like, someone's wife, this old man's wife had to be like, honey, stop asking, because she could tell I was getting frustrated, because it's not a nice question. Like, you know I'm not from here. You're not from here, but you don't see me questioning where you're from. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Stop doing it to ethnic people. Stop.
New Zealand is the best place I've ever been. As a single Black woman who was working out there for 2 months studying abroad, I never felt safer. I was catching the bus at night, walking back to my house at night, all by myself. I was a little nervous at first, don't get me wrong, because that's the American in me, but I was literally never bothered. One time I just looked lost downtown and cops walked up to me and they were like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need help? Super genuine, like super genuine. The people there are super nice. There's such the Kiwis are my favorite group of people next to the Irish. Wellington has a large LGBTQ presence. Like, they have a freaking rainbow street. You will be the only Black person out there, though. Just a warning. It's just gonna be you.
In America, I would watch dudes walk up to women and be like, hey girl, I think you're beautiful. I don't really know what kind of situation you're in right now, but I'd love to explore whatever you're open to. Yo, if you walked up to a girl in New Zealand, and said that shit, she'd be like, oh cunt. Hey. Be like, oh cunt, and then you would hear laughter down the street for 3 kilometers.